For my project, I'm doing option number one, and I'm doing the Pitkin Glassworks, which is located in Manchester, Connecticut. As you can read on the sign, the Pitkin Glassworks provided gunpowder. The Pitkin family provided gunpowder during the Revolutionary War to the Connecticut militia from 1775 to 1781. After the war was over and they were granted independence, they built a glassworks which was granted a 25-year monopoly on the manufacturing of glass. Now, the Pitkin Glass Works was the first successful glass factory in Connecticut. It was built in Manchester, Connecticut, which at the time was part of East Hartford, known as Orford Parish, and it was on the Pitkin Farm, which is located at the corner of Putnam and Parker Streets in Manchester, Connecticut. They remained in operation until around 1830, and then they went out of business, and it's not understood why they went out of business. Some say that it was because of the cost of the transportation of sand. They were getting their raw material from New Jersey and had to ship it up to Connecticut. And if you know Connecticut at all, Manchester is very well inland. It's not near any of the large waterways like the Connecticut River, so it had to come overland in order to get to the factory. So that could have been it. Also, the fact that many of the area had turned into farming. It was going over to an agricultural system, and the farms were overtaking a lot of the woodland, and they needed wood to fire the sand in order to create the glass. So therefore they were running out of a stock of wood in the immediate area. That could have been it. It could also have been the fact that the 25-year monopoly was up, and they were now faced with increased competition, something that they had not had for the last 25 years. Other than that, they were considered to be of the best color and best design of the glass in that era produced in the country. They produced demijohns for the West Indian trade markets, bottles, flasks, inkwells, and other small bottles and glass items. Most of the glass was in shades of green, which was popular at that time, and today, if you can get your hands on any of the Pitkin Glassworks products, they can bring in tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Now, another reason that the factory may have closed was due to poor management. That was another issue. Now, they closed in 1830. Nothing was going on from that point until 1928. So roughly 100 years this building sat crumbling, and it fell into disrepair. Just nature was retaking it. And in 1928, Mr. and Mrs. Pitkin, who owned the farm there, quietly claimed the property to the Orford Parish chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Again, Orford Parish was the name of this area before it became Manchester. The DAR took over the property, and of course maintenance was a burden to them. As you can see, the wonderful landscaping that they've done now. But so there was discussion in 1977 of selling it for commercial. In other words, tearing it down and putting up houses. You can see in the background, that's all that's left of the farm that used to be there. But a group of citizens banded together and they formed a committee and a corporation, took over the site, got it registered on the National Historic Registry of National Historical Sites, and they now are the overseeing group still, which oversees this area. As you can see, all that they have done is basically the grounds work, and they put up a couple of signs in the flagpole. There have been several archaeological excavations done at the site. In the 80s, the Central Connecticut University did an archaeological dig there. They only found some shards of glass, but since then, under the direction of the State Archaeologist's Office, they've had several more digs, local schools, etc., that have gone in and done some digs, and they have found numerous pieces of bottles, necks, bodies, bases, fragments, and flasks, inkwells, and they have discovered and cataloged those items. So some of the unfortunately, I have not been able to go on any of these digs. They happened before I moved into this area. I'm rather new here, but as you can see, that it's still owned by the Pitkin family, or the Orford Parish DAR and the Historical Society of Manchester, and the corporation, which is the Pitkin Glass Works Incorporated, which oversees the grounds and maintenance. Here we have some examples of the glass from the Pitkin Glass Works, courtesy of Rick Cirelli and the Eastfield Village Workshops in Manchester. As you can see, the inkwells are located right here, the flasks and demijohns, and then we have several of the bases. There's neck over here, and as you can see in the shards of the body, you can see the mold that they used that had the design, the line designs in it. Most of the glass is green, brownish green, as I said before, as this was the color of the times. As you can see, several of the bottles. These have all been dug up at the Pitkin Glass Works, then have been cataloged and are on display with the Eastfield Village Workshops in Manchester, and also the Manchester Historical Society. Thank you.